Hello, good morning. This is Diary of a Coach, episode 309. 309. It's Tuesday morning here in Abuja, the federal capital city of Nigeria in West Africa. How are you? How was your sleep? How are you? For those of you who are already at work, how's it going? What's going on? This is our week of strategy, the week of being strategic. This is the week to be strategic about everything you do, everything you think, everything you get involved with. This is the week to be strategic. It's chilly and windy in Jos. Wow. Jos is the capital of Plateau State in the north central of Nigeria. Last night was windy also in Abuja and chilly. So I guess the Hamatan is taking its toll on going across the country. So guys, how's it been? How was Monday? Today is Tuesday. Today, we're talking about draw your own timetable. Draw your own timetable. You would agree with me that there's this adage, 20 friends will not play for 20 years. As they grow, they drift apart for different reasons. Professionally, socially, mentally, academically, spiritually, psychologically, etc., etc. People draw apart. Ada says, man, cold morning. I thought I was abroad. Maybe God is preparing me for winter. Amen. So, 20 friends will not be together in the same capacity for 20 years, at least not permanently. They may come back together, but they will drift apart for a while because of different developmental stages of their lives. Now, what this means is that at some point, some friends in the 20 friends will be under immense pressure to catch up with other friends in the 20 friends who seem to have gone ahead. Some friends who have gone ahead who may be feeling like they're leaving their friends behind. Different factors play out. But I found something. I found a secret. The secret to strategy in life is you sitting down and drawing your own timetable by asking yourself the following questions. 10 years from now, 20 years from now, what do I want to have achieved for myself? Knowing that 20 friends will not be together for 20 years, I do not have the guarantee that the people I'm rolling with now may be in my cycle in 10 years' time or in 20 years' time. So if I'm benchmarking my development based on my current cycle, is this what I want in 10 years' time when this cycle would have gone? Will I look back in 10 years' time and say, and I was just doing those certifications because of the friends I was with. I was just applying for jobs because of the friends I was with. I was doing this, I was doing that because in my clique, that was what we wanted to do together. You need to project and say, if the adage, 20 friends will not be together for 20 years is true, in 20 years' time, when this is my current clout and current friends and current crowd and current association may have drifted away to greener pastures, would I be proud of the decisions I'm making now? Because by the time you're able to think this way, you would own your decisions. You would own the outcomes. And you would manage your own process. This is a very important advice. Because I have found People grow up a ladder, get to a point, and just discover that this ladder was not the ladder they were supposed to be on in the first place. Own your own timetable. Draw your own timetable. Ask yourself, in 2 decades, when my friends are no more my friends, when my friends of now are no more my close friends, would I be proud of this decision I've taken? That's number one. Number two, when they begin to demand from me to do like them, do I have the capacity to persuade and explain to them why this is my decision? Because I've also found some people, especially ladies, they want to do something, but they try to keep the peace. So they, in their head, they are temporarily stepping down their decision. You say, I'll come back to my own later. You don't own the time. So sometimes 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years go. Then you're trying to recalibrate your journey. You don't need to do that to yourself. The expenses and the time is too costly to compromise because you're trying to make the peace. No, don't do that. Number 3, whether you take it or not, your journey on earth is personal. That's the ultimate. Even those that were born as twins or triplets or quadruplets or triplets, quadruplets, quintuplets, etc., did not come out of the womb at the same time. No. The birth canal is serial. The birth canal is serial, which means one person will come out before another person, even when it is cesarean section. The birth canal is serial. What that tells you is last, now you come this life by yourself. And last, now you go come out this life by yourself. Your journey on earth is personal. And therefore, it must inform your decisions. You must own your decisions. You must honor your decisions. And you must consistently draw your timetable by yourself. So, when your friends are building houses and in your calendar, you are convinced you're not ready, wait and do it when you're ready. If you are building and your friends are not ready, don't say, well, I don't want to be like the odd one out. Let me wait for them. Start building. When your friends are doing further degrees and you are not ready, wait until you're ready. If you are ready and they are not ready, push on. Your timetable is yours. It's very important. Now, in doing this, that doesn't mean you should be cocky and arrogant and say, me, this is my timetable. Coach Sam said I should draw my timetable. So you guys, I don't know what you're up to. I'm doing my timetable. No. Do it with dignity. Do it with mutual respect. Do it understanding that you need their support. One of the major significant milestones of achieving goals is support. The more people that cheer you on, the faster you can get your goals done. The more people who are cheering you on, the faster you can get your goals done. Which means, even though your timetable is personal, even though you're the one drawing your timetable, you need to be able to communicate it with your circle of influence and circle of support, such that they are able to say, even though we're not ready, we support you. Guy, do. In fact, you can do this thing. Because I'm sure they will imagine that when it's their turn to do, you will also support them. Ultimately, keep your timetable personal. Make sure you know your journey. This is why it is important to spare time once a while alone. This is why your me time is key. You must sit down and tell yourself, sit in isolation once in a while. Every day is not too much. 15 minutes, 1 hour, every 24 hours is not too much. Just sit down and say, Sam Obafemi, what have you done today? How did you do it? How does this add to the 10-year journey? How does this impact on the 20-year plan? Sam Obafemi, what areas do you need to work on? These things you did, how can they help? How are they not helpful? What do you need to redesign? What do you need to reappraise? You need to have those moments where you ask yourself hard questions. Questions that you know your own truth. And you will ask yourself those questions and answer them and use that answer as your strategy again. So this life, you must be strategic. Pastor Olo Okure says, who arrogance help? He then says, there's a book written by Don Failer, Own Your Life. Flesh and blood didn't inspire this episode of DOAC. Too much inspiration today as always. God bless you, sir. So you must recognize that in building your life, you must be strategic. Ask yourself hard questions. There are questions your friends want to ask you. They may not want to ask you because they don't want to hurt you. But permit yourself to ask yourself those questions. If you don't have the guts to accommodate friends that can ask you hard questions, then you must build capacity to ask yourself hard questions. So that you are building your own timetable and you are looking at the long term in building the timetable. And any moment you notice you are derailing, ask yourself, guy, you're going off track. Is this what you want? You would answer your question, yes, I know what I'm doing. Okay, why are you going off track? I'm going off track because of this and this and this. How does this impact on the 10-year plan and the 20-year plan? In 10 years' time, by going this way, it will do this. And you're doing a Q&A with yourself. And if the going off track is not what you want, is this what you want? You say, no, I don't know why I'm going off track. What do we need to do to bring you back on track? If you don't ask yourself these questions and have these conversations with yourself, you're going to be in a mess. By the grace of God, what I'm doing for the next decade is because I have a completely different career path that will start when I'm 50. I have a path I'm following. And when I'm 50, all these things I'm doing will take a completely different dimension. So the next decade, I'm rebuilding the foundation. I'm consolidating on what has existed and I'm rebuilding the foundation. So that when I hit 50, by the mercies of God, I am changing the track all over again. Because we're going to another dimension. That is the strategy at work. And you need to do this for yourself. Now, you may not plan 10 years, but you need to think 10 years. You may not have the capacity and the resources to articulate your year-by-year plan for 10 years, 20 years. Some people may not have that long-term resources or long-term character or long-term capacity. But it's okay. What matters is you must think 10 years anyway. You must ask yourself, in 10 years, at least have an idea what you want to do and become in 10 years' time. With that idea, you can now come back and say, what is the minimum I can do this year that will add value to that 10 years? When you achieve it, what's the next thing I can do? What's the next thing I can do? What's the next thing I can do? As you're building those blocks, 10 years will arrive to you suddenly. And you will not be taken by surprise. It is scriptural that a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands, and then the bandit will come upon you suddenly like a robber or like a thief in the night. You don't want to do that to yourself. 10 years is like a snap of the finger. So if you don't start building day after day after day today with resilience, with discipline, with determination, with optimism, 10 years will arrive, boom. And you're like, oh my God, how? Well, in Hausa we say, yanda how take. The way how is. So, I hope this has added some value to you. Draw your own timetable. Be around a support system that supports your timetable. Don't depend on their support, but you need their support. You would enjoy it. It's going to give you mileage. And where possible, you need to own the timetable. You need to drive the timetable. You need to be the master agent of your timetable. Think 10 years, start planning from today. This has been Diary of a Coach, and this is episode 309. Thank you so much for joining my diary today. I appreciate you. Thursday is the deadline for joining the least registering fee for BSG Summit 2020. And I hope you don't miss it. By the way, there's a vacancy, a very powerful vacancy. A business, a wellness business, a health business in Abuja that does a huge turnover, but it's very intensive. The operations are very large. They need an operations manager, someone who is determined, strong, someone who takes initiative, who is futuristic, someone who is dutiful, someone who is ready to work long hours. The pay is very good. So if you know someone who can fit into operations manager job in Abuja, please hit me in my DM or send a CV to Coach Sam at sobcaonline.com. Coach Sam at Sobca Online. Sobca is SOBCA online.com. One word. Send the CV of this candidate. I'll personally call this candidate and make the inquiries, and then we can see if the person can be considered. So, this has been Diary of a Coach. Thank you for watching. This is episode 309. This is our week of being strategic. And don't go doing things anyhow. Sit down, strategize, take your life to the next level. I love you guys. God bless you. Bye.